I woke up to find myself half naked. Dylan was perched on the edge of the bed, cigarette glowing, looking smug. Aiden's muscling in on my deals, so I screw his girl. Call it even, dude. You've got the wrong chick. I'm not his anything. I'm just the sick rich heir's stand-in. The first time Aiden walked into the Purple Crystal Club, he zeroed in on Frost. He booked her for a hostess session, decided a lonely drink wasn't romantic enough, and ordered me to provide backup vocals. In the private suite he declared, "Frost, I like you. Thanks. Aiden, be my girlfriend? Sorry, I pour drinks. I don't sell my body. I'm not asking you to sell anything. Be my real girlfriend. I'll keep you. No more night scene. Trying to make me a kept woman. Sorry, body's not for sale." They were living a soap opera while I, the invisible supporting actress, crooned from a corner to set the mood. The song was Priscilla Chan's Thousands of Quilts, Aiden's personal pick. When it ended, he twisted toward me, still glued to Frost, and said, "Don't change tracks, loop it 10 times. Inside, I was dying of boredom. After an hour of tug-of-war, the Crown Prince lost patience and changed masks. "Won't sell your body. Huh, fine, tonight you'll drown in drink." He pointed to a line of shot glasses filled with hard liquor. $500 a glass. I thought, jackpot, pour some my way. Frost said nothing, lifted the first glass, and downed it. On the 8th she bolted to puke. Aiden lolled on the sofa, looking terminally bored. I scooted over. "Aiden, how about I drink for Frost? 200 a glass." He didn't even glance at me. Keep singing. That night Frost gambled her stomach, polished off 20 shots, and walked away with 5 figures in tips. I sang Thousands of Quilts 50 times until smoke came out of my throat. For a lousy grand. No comparison, no mercy. For days Aiden showed up every night, booked Frost, and dropped over 10 grand each visit. But money can't buy a frozen heart. She still refused to be his girlfriend. Then he vanished, probably giving up. I told Frost, "You shattered that innocent boy." She shrugged. Plenty of clients, one more or less doesn't matter. Humble brag much, but she could afford it. Stunning, icy, untouchable. Frost was the club's most wanted girl. Around 3 a.m., I crawled home ready to crash when my phone rang. Aiden on WhatsApp voice. Hollow and exhausted. "Can't sleep. Sing me a lullaby." On the clock. Rich kids and their games. Sure. What song? Thousands of Quilts. Again. What fetish is this? Customer is king, so I obeyed. Looking back. Once shared nights of ours. When I finished he said, "Keep going. If I'm asleep you still sing till sunrise." Seriously, I was ready to refuse when a 3 grand Venmo transfer popped in. "If I wake and still hear you." Another 3. I pocketed the cash. Money had been slow. 6 grand for a lullaby. Sold. I looped until dawn warped my brain. At first light he finally murmured, "I'm awake, stop." Hallelujah. The call cut. Another 3 grand landed with a note, "Best sleep in ages. Thanks." Poor kid. I didn't tell him Frost already has a sugar daddy, a 50-year-old tycoon who half owns her. When he's out of town she clocks in here. Weekends she joins him. Double income. First home down payment locked. Why would she want a lovesick puppy? I asked her anyway. Aiden's cute, young, sincere. Sure you're not tempted? She lit a cigarette. I hit the floor at 16, 5 years. Countless men. That kid's no heir. He's skimming tuition or mommy's purse. Notice he stopped coming. Cash ran dry. Smoke curled around her worldly smile. But I kept my secret too. Aiden's wallet wasn't empty. Every night at 3 a.m. sharp he WhatsApp called and paid 6 grand total for Thousands of Quilts. Sounds easy. It wasn't. To stay awake I stabbed my thigh with a bobby pin. Ancient scholars stabbed legs to study. Karaoke girls stab legs to survive. Half a month later I wired money home. "How's little bro?" Mom sighed. "Still bad. We're switching to imported meds. Import equals mountains of cash, which equals me working harder." I started taking day gigs, client lunches, banquets, whatever tipped, then clocked in at the club by 8. At 3 I sang the prince to sleep. 2 weeks non-stop. I once dozed off on the toilet. That night a whale offered $666 per shot. Sleepy me instantly morphed into a drinking tiger. I blacked out. Next thing I knew, sunlight was slapping my butt. I jolted upright. Thousands of Quilts. 15 missed WhatsApp calls from Aiden. 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. I messaged frantic apologies. His reply, "How much did they pay to get you that wasted?" It stung. I kept it cool. "It's my job. Why choose a job like that? Money. Ashamed of me?" "Ashamed. It's cheap." JAN. He typed the pinion. I knew the character. I answered with a smile emoji and kept the VIP. 3 a.m. sharp he called. First thing apologizing. "I've been awake for days. Mood swings. Sorry." I let it slide. One question, "Why that song?" Silence. Then a mom used to sing it at bedtime. "Your voice reminds me of her." Ah. A grown-up lullaby. Don't diagnose me with mommy issues, okay? He laughed, suddenly sunny. I don't picture you as her. I just miss her. Where is she? Dunno. Canada. Maybe Britain. She ghosted me. The casual words felt heavy. I thought of my brother. Same age. 19. Straight A student. Family's hope. Junior year he collapsed after midterms. Leukemia. I was in community college cramming for transfer exams. After diagnosis I cried in the library. Then filed for a leave of absence. Jeans off. Black stockings on. Hair dyed influencer blonde. Hello. Purple crystal. I sent money home every month. Mom never asked how I earned it. If it could save my brother. Posture didn't matter. I stopped thinking about my future. Just a machine that prints cash. Then Aiden strolled in and jolted my circuits. After the mom talk we drifted into quiet. He broke it. Free tomorrow afternoon. Lunch. First date. I squeed inside but stayed professional. Lunch rate applies. Please. I'm good for it. I dressed down, jeans, white sneakers, schoolgirl ponytail, so he wouldn't see a hostess. We met on the sky bridge. He was already there, tall and lazy against the rail. He grabbed my hand and steered me through crowds, shielding me without thinking. I looked up at him and pictured my brother. Once thrilled he could protect big sis. Dad had joked, if a future husband dares bully her, you punch him. I indulged a daydream, would little bro fight Aiden if he hurt me? Reality check. This is work. The boy is a client. Over lunch Aiden chatted non-stop. Mood lighter. Then suddenly, why doesn't Frost like me? Ouch. Still hung up on her. I dropped the bomb. Frost has a super VIP sugar daddy. Han, outbid him and you win. A bitter smile. Then the date fizzled. Back home I changed and clocked in at 8:09 sharp. Aiden stormed in. It's unlucky. Saturday. Frost was with Han. I'm here for you, he said. Pleasant surprise, until he ordered live loop, thousands of quilts. Sweet after sweet. I sang. He drank until he collapsed across my lap. His lashes were wet. Boy was crying. Then he slept. After that night he stopped calling for lullabies. I missed it. That scene, his tear-streaked face on my thighs, was our closest contact. We drifted. No messages. No calls. 2 months later he reappeared. Hey, I waved. He answered with a polite distant nod. He booked Frost for the night. After closing floor gushed, another 5-digit tab. Outside I passed them entwined like vines. Aiden glanced over. I pretended not to see. Next shift I ran into Frost in the restroom while fixing my makeup, and we started to chat. Frost dabbed powder on her face and said to me, that Aiden, he's actually not bad. I asked, in what way? She said, every way. Young, handsome, good to me. She paused, then added, he's loaded too. I misjudged him the first time. I laughed and asked, what? Richer than your Han? No matter how rich Han is. It's not my money, she sighed. The old guy has a wife. Kids, he'll always see me as the side chick. Aiden's at least willing to give me a real title. I'm getting old. I need to get out of the life. Frost's always been the sensible one. The next few days, Aiden came to the Amethyst every night for Frost. I felt a pang for a couple days, then put him out of my mind and threw myself into work. Because I worked like a maniac. More clients started asking for me, and I pocketed fat tips every shift. One client liked me best. The baller who'd paid $666 a shot the other night. Mid-30s. Single. We all call him Dylan. Dylan said my crazy, life or death drinking style infected him. Made him feel alive. Euphoric. I don't understand how rich people have fun. All I know, if I make him happy, I earn. Mutual benefit. Dylan pays fast, but he loves making me drink. Many nights I stumbled to the bathroom. Puked until life felt meaningless. Wanted to quit, but the Venmo transfers on my phone dried my tears. So I retouched my makeup, plastered on a smile, and headed back to the suite. One night clocking out I met Aiden in the elevator. I tripped. Drunk. He steadied me. You alright? Fine. Thanks. I'll drive you home. No need. I already ordered a ride. Come on, you're in no shape. I can't relax otherwise. My head was splitting. I snapped. Aiden, you're Frost's client. It's awkward if we get too close. From now on, keep your distance, okay? I shoved past him and staggered toward the taxi. Next night Dylan got me trashed again. Bleary-eyed. I headed for the restroom and collided with someone in the corridor. She slapped me across the face before I blinked. I sobered. It was Frost. The Glacier Beauty hissed. Watch where you walk. Sisters in the same club. I bump her and she cuffs me. Feeling wronged. Liquor blazing. She jabbed my nose. You were all over Aiden downstairs last night. Think I'm blind? I was speechless. I just went through his chats. You two voice called for hours. Even met up. Slept with that under the radar. Huh. Club code. He's mine. Tried to steal him and pay the price. I kept my eyes down. Silent. No point fighting Floor's pet and the housetop girl. Only I'd suffer. Maybe lose my wage. Frost wasn't done. She swung again. Still drunk. I'll help you sober up. Memorize the rules. Her hand rose a third time. Aiden stalked up and caught her wrist. What's going on? Why hit her? His voice vibrated with irritation. Frost burst into tears. You still want me. Whirlwind vows with me. Then flirt with her. What's that? Aiden said flatly. There's nothing between us. Then those all-night chats about world politics? You were ignoring me. I snagged a substitute to kill boredom, he said. I looked up, stunned. I'd sung him lullabies for countless nights. Turns out I was just stand-in entertainment. I had no right to complain. The tips I got weren't small. Still, the sour burn in my chest wouldn't quit. Aiden avoided my gaze, wrapped an arm around Frost, tried to walk away. Frost wouldn't budge. Delete her number. Now. In front of me. Stop. Be good. We'll talk in the suite. Delete hers or mine. Choose. Spoiled by favor, that's Frost right now. Aiden pulled out his phone. Tapped. Done. Deleted, he said. He indulged her every whim. Dylan arrived to break up the scene. I could see he was pissed, his girl humiliated, but he spoke to Aiden with courtesy. They obviously knew each other. Frost didn't dare push further with Dylan watching. He took me back to our suite, wiped my face with a tissue. Stay away from that Yuan guy, he's bad news. That was the first time I heard Aiden's full name, Yuan Jiachen. Thanks, Dylan. There's nothing between us anyway. I'm yours. Dylan grinned. Sweetheart. You serious? Then quit. Let me keep you. Rent you an apartment. Only see me. $5,000 monthly allowance. Deal? I knew what he meant. He wanted a kept woman. Pouring drinks is my bottom line. Selling my body. Can't do it. I raised a glass. To you, Dylan. Thanks for the rescue. Shot down. The liquor tasted like despair. I couldn't sleep that night. Eyes open till 3 a.m. He'd never voice call me again. He'd deleted me. Grief flooded in. The last time I'd felt this was when I learned my brother was dying. Since then booze and hustle had numbed me. Now I didn't know whether I mourned the boy, my brother, or myself. Next day Frost didn't clock in. She'd quit. She'd gotten out of the life. Found perfect harbor. Young. Rich. Lovesick Aiden. She meant it. Job gone. Old sugar Han dumped. Han was livid. He sent his secretary to roast our manager and floor. Almost trashed the venue. Management swore they'd take the Yuan heir out. When Dylan heard, he smirked. The real show hasn't started. I sipped my drink, feigning calm. Can they actually have him whacked? Relax, cutie. Only Aiden can erase them. They'll never touch him. I was curious who Aiden really was, but I wouldn't ask. The chapter was closed. I'd never sing those ballads again. Sick of every line. Days slid by. Except for my brother's illness. Nothing mattered. Dylan hinted again about keeping me. I ignored it. I almost used Frost's classic. I'll pour drinks, but I don't sell my body. Good thing I didn't. Reality slapped me soon enough. On my birthday, Mom called. No happy birthday. Just, bow. Your brother's crashing. He needs the transplant within 2 months or, my heart fell. Why so soon? Couldn't the universe grant me a little time? We had the donor, me, when he was first diagnosed. The whole family tested, only I matched. I'd long decided to donate, but my wallet wasn't ready. A marrow transplant costs an astronomical sum, to say nothing of follow-up anti-rejection meds. I'd planned for 1 more year. Grind, save, then go home and save him. Now the clock reads 2 months. I did the math, at least 30 grand short, not counting later treatments. How do I earn 30 grand in 8 weeks? After hanging up, I collapsed on the bed, chanting like a mantra, need money. Now, now, now. Heaven heard my birthday prayer. Dylan rang. Happy birthday. Pretty thing. I mumbled thanks. Empty. Sound glum. What's wrong? I'm broke. Desperately. Money troubles. Hit me up. I sat bolt upright. A live sugar daddy. Right here. Take the offer or walk. I remembered Floor's first lesson, trade what you have to get what you need. That evening I took leave from Amethyst and met Dylan at a 5-star hotel, message clear. We dined first, bargaining over the price. His earlier proposal, $5,000 a month for a year. Then we part. I said, what if you tire of me early? How about you front 6 months? 30 grand, then I can relax. Dylan burst out laughing. Damn, baby, you drive a hard bargain. I stayed quiet, then whispered, I'm a virgin. The moment the words left, it felt like my dignity hit the floor and shattered. Trade what you have to get what you need. Dylan's smile froze. No shit? I said, only one way to find out. Flames leapt in his eyes. What happened that night? No need to describe. Morning came. I woke to Dylan's kisses. Check your phone. Bank alert. 350,000 CNY deposited. 50 grand extra? Because I feel like it. I like you. Thanks, Dylan. It's Dylan. I'm Chen Yuke. Yuka's the pet name my mother gave me. Yuka. My sweet Yuka. His kisses rained down. Tonight you quit Amethyst. Delete every client contact. If I catch you talking to them, I'll punish you. Okay. And especially, 0 contact with Yuan Jiachen. Understood? Got it. I promise. He turned gentle. Good girl. Come. I'll buy you dresses. Take you out. Floor and I got along. When I quit, she just sighed. You're finally earning traction. In your prime cash cow years, Why stop? I lied, I'm going back to school. She approved. Smart. This place trades on youth. By the way, heard about Frost? What happened? Floor gossiped eagerly. Aiden had dumped her. Less than a month after she got out of the life, he booted her right back into the gutter. Rumor said she cracked so badly she now sees a shrink. A seasoned woman like her should have stone-thick skin. What did Aiden do to shatter her? And why court her so hard just to trash her? A psycho heir's mindset? Impossible to read. I moved into the apartment Dylan leased. A quiet, leafy, perfect. He visits twice a week. The rest of the time is mine. I picked up textbooks again and started studying. My college registration remains valid. Once my brother is stable, I'll go back. Besides studying, I work out. Hostess life wrecked my body. I need to be strong before donating marrow. One evening Dylan brought me to a business reception. I glided into the ballroom in an elegant dress on his arm. Cream of society everywhere. Polished shoes, million-dollar smiles. Among them I spotted a familiar face, Han, former whale of Amethyst, Frost's ex-sugar. He's hosting tonight. After waxing nostalgic about his career, Han announced, "Allow me to introduce someone, my son Han Jiachen, heir to Horizon Group." Under thunderous applause, a young man in a black suit stepped onto the stage. I stared at him, blank-faced. My eyes had to be malfunctioning. How could he look so much like Aiden? The moment he opened his mouth, my God, the voice was a perfect match. Was he Aiden? Was Aiden him? Was he Chairman Han's son? Dylan murmured beside me. So, surprise of the century? All I could think was, Absurd just opened the door for Absurd and Absurd walked right in. Wait, let me sort this out. Frost is Chairman Han's mistress. Aiden is Chairman Han's son. The son stole Dad's mistress, driving the old man ballistic. Then the son kicked the mistress to the curb. Father and son act like nothing happened. Still chummy in public. Rich people logic, something I'll never grasp in this life. The next, or the one after. No wonder Frost had a meltdown. Anyone would implode under that. Midway through, I went to the restroom. When I came out, Aiden was leaning against the corridor wall, hands in pockets, looking wrecked. He turned. His gaze suddenly sharpened. "Dylan's keeping you now?" he asked. Straight to the point. "Yeah." "You realize that's immoral?" "Immoral how?" "He's single. I'm not breaking any home." "Ha!" He sneered. "True. You're a hair more decent than Frost the side chick." I sneered back. "Yet you were crazy about her." He looked startled. "Like her? Why would I like a karaoke girl? I despise people like you. You'll ditch every principle for money." Disgusting. Bottom line disgusting. I was done talking. I turned to leave. He grabbed my wrist. I whirled. "What are you doing?" He stared, pupils swirling with feelings. Conflict, fury, pain, or maybe none of the above. Yuke. Just as we stood off, Dylan arrived. "Little Han, what's up? Did my little secretary offend you?" Aiden let go. My aching wrist was finally free. Dylan said to me, "Apologize to little Han." For what? He provoked me. Why should I apologize? I usually obey Dylan, but this time, no way. No apology. I glowered, arms folded, whatever. 10+ seconds of icy silence. Then Aiden said, "Sorry for the bother." He gave Dylan a loaded glance and left. On the ride back Dylan kissed me hard. "Yuke. You were magnificent today. So fierce. I loved it." I hooked my arms round his neck. Weirdest thing. How did Aiden turn into Chairman Han's son? Dylan chuckled. "Want the family saga?" From him I heard the gossip circulating through the billionaire circuit. Aiden really is Chairman Han's only child, born to the official wife. That wife, Yuan, is from Hong. Chairman Han spent years hustling in the mainland. Distance eroded the marriage. Then he committed the mistake every man makes and kept a mistress. Learning this, Yuan divorced him in rage and changed their son's surname. Han Jiachen became Yuan Jiachen. Aiden grew up amid paternal absence and maternal bitterness. At 13, Yuan sank into major depression. Chairman Han swooped back to snatch the boy. Rich and connected, he outmuscled his ex-wife. She fled overseas. Aiden was hauled to the mainland to live with the father he hardly knew. The bond stayed cold, though his household registration reverted to Han. He introduced himself publicly as Yuan, an open denial of daddy. Chairman Han could only swallow it. He daren't tear the last bridge. After the divorce he remarried, but the new wife bore no children. The empire needed the first son as heir. A year ago Han acquired a fresh mistress, Frost, top girl of the Purple Crystal Club. Then the son pulled a world-shaking stunt. He stole Frost from his old man. It was heart-ripped revenge. Top-shelf patricide. They say Han was hospitalized from sheer rage. Yet in the end he forgave the boy. Women are replaceable. The son is the heart's flesh. Aging and ailing. Han needed the son to grab the reins. After that revenge, the prodigal finally felt avenged, appeased, liberated, reconciled. That's why tonight's public handover banquet exists. After Dylan's tale my mood tangled. At last I saw the root of Aiden's torment, understood the making of his twisted nature, the logic fueling his bizarre acts. He never loved Frost. She was just a weapon against a negligent father. I recalled his words, like a karaoke girl. I hate people like you. You'll sell every bottom line for cash. Disgusting. I figured he felt the same disgust toward me. A month later I asked Dylan for leave. My brother was sick. I needed to go home. Dylan agreed without prying and added, "Need help? Just say it." "Thanks, Dylan. Call me Dylan." He ruffled my hair. "I'll wait for your return." He wasn't afraid I'd vanish with the 30 grand. That trust alone warmed me. Between us there was no love or devotion, only desire and transaction. He traded what he owned for what he desired. I did the same. We knew the score. He wouldn't truly love me, nor I him. Yet trust could still exist. Good enough. Back home I went straight to the hospital. Half a year had melted my once strapping brother to skin and bones, 60 pounds curled in the sheets. My parents looked 20 years older. Hair turned ash. And I, glossy outside, was shattered within. How had our happy family fallen this far? That night I sent mom and dad to rest and kept watch. Idly scrolling, I saw a WhatsApp ad friend prompt from Aiden. The note, "I want to hear you sing." It was 3 a.m. I deleted the request. I wouldn't sing for him again. I stared at the stars outside the window. The tune still looped in my head. Involuntarily I hummed, "Countless future stars may shine brighter than tonight's pale moon, yet none can match this moment's glow, nor steal the joy I feel right now, because tonight you sing with me. Pity, tonight no one sings with me." At dawn, half asleep, I heard my brother whisper, "Sis." I jolted awake. "What's wrong?" "The song you sang last night was beautiful." "Did I wake you?" "No, sis. Don't leave again. Stay with us. Okay?" "Okay." After lengthy prep, on a drizzly morning I lay on the OR table. Everything went smooth. The stem cells harvested from me flowed into my brother. Days of anxious waiting ended with the miracle. Engraftment successful. My brother was saved. In that instant every loss, every price felt worth it. My month of leave was almost up. I had to return and honor my contract. Fresh from the marrow harvest, my bones screamed in protest. But my brother's treatment kept guzzling money. I couldn't pause. I left without seeing him. He'd begged, "Stay. Don't go." And I'd promised, only to break it. Mom hugged me sobbing, "Sweetheart, go back to school. We'll find the rest of the money. Our family owes you too much." I said, "Mom, we're family. What debt?" "I am going back. I'll finish community college and sit the grad school entrance." Back at Dylan's side I fell ill, 5 straight days of fever. Dylan groaned, "Hey, I'm dropping 50 grand a month. Could you not wreck my investment?" I burrowed into his chest. "Fine. Next 6 months I'll give you a 5% discount." "Screw that." He nipped my ear. "Taking a few days off. Get well." Second half of the year his business boomed. I had to wine and dine clients. He barely touched his glass. I drank for him. He even let guests pour freely, smiling as I turned into a stumbling mess. The more I suffered, the more he enjoyed. Rich men's perversions, beyond me. At one banquet, I ran into the last person I wanted, Aiden. Now officially the young chairman Han of Horizon Group. Sneakers and hip-hop swapped for tailored suits. Messy hair tamed into an executive cut. He looked calm, poised, eyes unreadable, no trace of the boy I knew. That night Dylan was exhilarated, pushing glass after glass toward me, to Davis, President Yang, Minister Liu, and of course to Han. Clinking his glass I smiled. "Little Chairman Han, I'll finish. You sip as you wish." He said, "Drink less." Then to Dylan, "Tell her to ease up. Will you?" Dylan answered, "My girl, your call doesn't count." The air sparked like flint. I downed mine. After a long stare he emptied his too. After that I blacked out. Morning light found me wrecked by Dylan. He smoked. Satisfaction oozing. Han Jiachen stole my deals. I steal his woman. Call it even. Groggy. I asked, "Who's his woman?" He stubbed out the cigarette and smirked at me. "The one in his head? Who else?" Dylan and Aiden traded business blades. My life grew sharper. Dylan tortured me in petty ways, making sure Aiden heard, rattling the younger man's focus, stoking his rage. Finally Dylan knocked me up. He asked, "Keep it?" I draped on the sofa, flipping channels woodenly. "Our contract doesn't include a baby clause. We can amend. Price goes up." I said, "Is this clause another weapon against Aiden?" He blinked, then laughed. "Am I that filthy in your eyes?" I insisted. Dylan took me for the abortion. He glowered the whole way. Days later, another WhatsApp ad, Aiden again. The note: stop destroying yourself. Leave. I ignored it. I stayed until our 1-year contract expired, then said goodbye. Dylan was leaving the country. Aiden had gutted his domestic ventures. Overseas was his only play. Before boarding, he asked, if Han Jiachen comes for you, will you go back? I said, he won't. And I'm returning to school. Community college. Then grad school entrance. Good student. He ruffled my hair. Might miss you. Look me up if I'm back. Bon voyage. Dylan, may business boom abroad. He rolled his eyes and vanished through the security gate. Days later, one good news, one bad. Good. My brother beat illness. Back in class prepping for the college entrance exam. Bad. My leave of absence expired. I was officially dropped. Campus became a place I could never return to. Undergrad. Grad. Dreams forever closed. I clocked back in at the Purple Crystal. Only then did I realize, once you sink into this mire, you can't crawl out. You keep sinking. Trade what I have for what I need. While youth lasts. Pile up savings so the rest of life won't be too bleak. One night a year later, a familiar figure booked me. Aiden. By then I was pure professional. The smile. The service, zero emotion. Just money, nothing shameful. He'd grown up too. We drank, chatted, rolled dice like old pals. Light and carefree. Near closing he said, hey, sing for me. I didn't ask which song. I simply cued it. The intro floated out and I sang softly. Tomorrow there may be 1,000 stars brighter than tonight's pale moon, yet none could outshine the beauty of this hour, nor make me admire them more, because tonight you sang with me. Thousands of songs may come tomorrow, floating far away along my road. Thousands of stars may shine tomorrow, brighter than tonight's moon, yet none of them can match the beauty of this night, nor can they make me adore it more. When I reached this line, I suddenly realized, this is a song about farewell. Parting is upon us, and I no longer know where to begin everything I still want to say. Aiden sat on the sofa, one leg crossed over the other, listening without expression. The boy who once lay across my lap and wept is gone for good. When the song ended, he didn't ask for another loop. Instead, he said, abrupt and flat, I'm getting married soon. I froze for a second, then smiled at once. Oh, congratulations. He stared at me a long while, picked up his phone. Let's swap WhatsApp. I'll Venmo you a tip. No need. The front desk can put it on the liquor bill. You don't want me to look for you again? His eyes darkened. I kept smiling. Would you like your future wife to suffer the same pain your mother did? He flinched, disbelief flooding his gaze, but he recovered quickly, stood up in haste and walked out of the private suite. After he left, I ordered that song again, sang it to myself, over and over, on repeat. From that night on, Aiden never returned to the Purple Crystal Club. I entertained wave after wave of clients, drank night after night, sang song after song, but I never again sang the one about farewell. Extra Aiden moment, he confessed to his father's mistress. Aiden felt sick to his stomach. The woman still put on airs. I only host sessions. I don't sell my body. That only made him more nauseated. He'd seen with his own eyes how she and his father had rocked the car. Luckily, the singing of the girl beside him eased his disgust. Her Cantonese was accented, but her tone was pure heaven, turning his favorite song into something ethereal. Man had rotated through countless mistresses, everyone a night scene hostess. Aiden's mother, well-bred, intellectual, had been driven into major depression by her husband's betrayals. In the end, she gave up on everything herself. Before she left, she told her son, Mommy is sick. I can't look after you anymore. Stay with Dad. Inherit the business, and you'll live well. Then, ignoring the boy's sobs, she boarded the plane and vanished. After so many years, Aiden suspected she was no longer alive. Major depressive disorder carries a terrifying suicide rate. He returned to the mainland to live with his father, who kept mistresses and partied as always. He hated it. Hated his father, hated every hostess in those neon venues. Back home from the Purple Crystal, he couldn't close his eyes. Actually, he was used to it. The ability to sleep had left him the day his mother did. In frantic restlessness, he opened WhatsApp and saw her name, Yuka. Almost possessed, he voice called her. It was 3 a.m. She was still awake, unsure what to say. He simply ordered, sing for me. Thousands of songs, the lullaby his mother used to hum. He Venmo transferred $3,000. She started to sing. Night scene girls are convenient. He thought, pay up and they'll do anything. Yet listening, he actually fell asleep, soundly, the best rest he'd had in ages. He woke halfway through the night. Her song was still looping. She had reached, thousands of stars tomorrow may outshine tonight's moon. Through the floor-to-ceiling glass, the sky outside was spotless. Starlight flickered inside him, calm and soft. He became addicted to her voice. Every dawn around 3, after she clocked out and tidied up, he would voice call and pay per request. She was professional. She would single loop until sunrise. His sleep improved. Even nightmares stayed away. One night he called as usual, but she never picked up. That wasn't like her. Could something have happened? He phoned the purple crystal. Floor said she'd clocked out and left. Destination unknown. He panicked. Dialed her non-stop. He even messaged Frost, asking obliquely whether she was with her. Frost said no. The next day he was about to call the police when her text arrived. So sorry. Drank too much last night. Blacked out. Didn't mean to stand you up. He exhaled in relief. Then rage surged. He scolded her without restraint. How much did the client pay to get you that drunk? Why choose work like this? It's not just pathetic. It's filthy. The instant he hit send on the last word, he regretted it. But pride stopped him from unsending. He expected anger. She replied only with a smiley face. His heart melted into weakness. That night he apologized. She forgave him generously. For some reason he wanted to talk. Under her gentle guidance he spoke of his mother for the first time to anyone. In truth he could no longer picture her face, could barely recall her voice. Yet the warmth of childhood still clung to him. Grief at its most distilled. He asked to meet her. He wanted to see her. Badly. On the skybridge he watched her run toward him. Jeans. White sneakers. Ponytail. Youthful smile. Clean eyes. For a second she looked like his middle school first love. He naturally took her hand and led her through the crowd. She was petite, head reaching only his chest, stirring every protective instinct. Looking down he found her gazing up. Stars in her eyes. Suddenly he woke up. This should not happen. They should not be like this. This wasn't a date. He would tip her afterward. She was only working. So over dinner he deliberately asked how he could woo Frost. The starlight in her eyes dimmed in an instant. Good. He told himself. Don't fall for me, and I won't fall for you. I'm merely your client. You're merely a hostess. That night he checked into the purple crystal and booked Frost for a hostess session. In the private suite he chatted and drank, deliberately flashing his pedigree and fortune. Frost's frosty face thawed into spring. So much for the Ice Queen, just another night scene girl. He thought, without her endless loop of thousands of songs, he was bored out of his skull. Afterward he stopped asking her to sing him to sleep. Insomnia returned. He longed for her voice, but he couldn't allow either of them to sink deeper. They were impossible. Still, every time he ran into her at the club his heart skipped. Watching Dylan force liquor into her made him clench his teeth. When Frost slapped her he pretended indifference and deleted her contact right there. His finger trembled as he hit delete, telling himself short pain beats long ache. The night he erased her, the short pain kept him awake till sunrise. Eventually he stole Frost away. He paraded the new girlfriend before his father. The moment the old man and Frost locked eyes he felt a thrill like never before. He walked out laughing at the sky. Revenge complete. He tossed Frost aside. He dumped her on the street and let her scream her elegance away. Stripped the polish and a beauty was just a money-hungry drunk. His father forgave him in the end. Old age. Blood is blood. They struck a deal. Aiden would adopt the Han surname. Dad would hand over the empire, confident it wouldn't be squandered. At the reception his father introduced him to the circle. Among the crowd he spotted her at once, dressed in haute couture, standing beside Dylan, whispering intimately. He lost composure completely. In the corridor he cornered her and spat ugly words, each syllable stabbing her ears and his own heart. Sometime later he met Dylan at another banquet but didn't see her. Casually he asked, "Where's your little side chick?" Dylan glanced at him. Her kid brother's sick. She went back to her hometown to see him. That night Aiden couldn't sleep. He picked up his phone, searched her WhatsApp by the number he still knew by heart. Friend request sent with the note, "I want to hear you sing." No response. She was awake. She simply ignored him. Probably Dylan already covered her bills. She no longer needed song fee money. He sat at the floor-to-ceiling window, city lights sprawling below, the familiar melody circling in his head. One line especially clear, "Only at the moment of leaving do I feel the beauty of sorrow. It's all because of you that my memories stretch so long." He poured himself into work. Hectic days, burying the absurd tenderness deep down, rarely stirring it. Then one evening he saw her again at a banquet. Dylan, the bastard, kept pouring drinks. When she toasted Aiden he noticed her hand shaking as she lifted the glass. All he could say was, "Take it easy." She drank till she blacked out and Dylan carted her off. Aiden knew exactly what Dylan would do. He ground his molars bloody but could only watch. So he retaliated in business, savagely crushing Dylan until the man fled overseas under pressure from Apex Summit Group. She was free now, he thought. Did that mean he had a chance? Hearing she was back working at the Purple Crystal, he began choosing the right time to approach her. Though what right meant he couldn't say. The closer to her, the greater his cowardice. Then, out of the blue, his father arranged a marriage. Apex Summit was going public. A high-profile wedding would reassure investors. He met the girl a few times. They got along well enough. Under parental pressure, the wedding was set. As the date neared he felt an iron certainty. His life was not supposed to unfold like this. Gathering courage, he went to the purple crystal. She had changed, student innocence gone, replaced by polished allure, poised and professional. He too acted calm. Drinks, dice, small talk. He couldn't later recall a word, busy plotting how to bare his heart. Yet he couldn't find the words. Closing time approached. He blurted, "Hey, sing me a song." She asked no title, simply cued thousands of songs. He smiled in spite of himself and sat back to listen. Her Cantonese was cleaner now, pitch steadier, every ornament refined. All those nights of forced repetition had trained her. He stole glances at her profile as she sang. When will there be another night like tonight, when we can pause and gaze and let our eyes confess our stand? But they were not gazing at each other. When the song ended, he wanted an encore yet felt something weightier had to be said. "I'm getting married soon," he announced. Watching for her reaction, she only blinked, then produced a professional smile. "Oh, congratulations." His heart plummeted to the bottom of a ravine. Still unwilling to give up, he said, "Let's swap WhatsApp. I'll Venmo you a tip," hoping to leave a thread for later. "No need. The front desk can put it on the liquor bill," she actually replied. "You don't want me to contact you again?" His heart sank thousands of feet more. "Would you like your future wife to suffer the same pain your mother did?" Of all possibilities, he hadn't expected this. Brutally direct, yet irrefutable. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. He had loathed his father for years. Was he now to become him? He fled in haste, clinging to the last scrap of dignity he could keep before her. In the end, he did not marry. If he didn't love the girl, why ruin her life? Nor did he go after the one he did love. The first time he deleted her, he lost the chance to add her back. Sometimes fate is that fragile. Work kept him busy. Insomnia gradually loosened its grip. Only occasionally, waking at midnight, would the last stanza circle in his mind. Thousands of stars tomorrow may outshine tonight's moon, yet none can match this night's beauty, nor can they erase what I'm feeling tonight, for I don't know when I'll sing with you again. At last he understood. This was, from the very start, a song about goodbye.